Assalamualaikum and good evening to everybody. How are you, my students? So today I wish to teach you lesson 6. So what we are going to have in lesson 6 are, we're going to have section A, where you look at pictures below and match each picture to the correct definition. And after that, we're going to have section B, right, where you have to read the passage and answer some questions. Moving on to section C, speaking task. Last but not least, section D, reading exercise, graphic materials and short text. And we have 2 closed passages, and that's the end of lesson 6. And throughout the lesson, I'm going to show you some YouTube video related to the lesson. Okay, we haven't given you this assignment, but anyway, I want you to go to our WhatsApp group and download the assignment that I've sent into the group. Have you downloaded the lesson? Very good. You can print it out if you have printers at home, or you can take a pen and an empty paper and write down your answers. Either way can work, as long as you understand everything, okay? Now look at the pictures below and match each picture to the correct definition. So we have 6 pictures. So we have this one. Obviously, this is the earth, and this is the forest, okay? This is something to do with hybrid cars. This is obviously a solar panel. This is some kind of factory, and these are recycle bins. Number 1, alternative energy. Any energy source that is an alternative to fossil fuel. So what do we have here? Any energy source that is an alternative to fossil fuel. You see, fossil comes from the earth. Okay, we have coal, we have oil, petrol. Those are the sources of energy that we have from the earth. So those are called fossil fuel. So any energy source that is an alternative, a different one, that doesn't come from the earth. Have you guessed the correct picture? Very good. One hint, it is not from our planet. Recycling, the process of collecting waste materials into useful products. This is a very easy one to answer. We can always see those bins around our school. Number 3, the ozone layer, an area of the Earth's stratosphere that absorbs most of the sun's ultraviolet radiation. This is very easy, right? Number 4, hybrid car, powered by both an electric motor and internal combustion engine. There's only one picture of car here. Number 5, deforestation, the removal of a forest or trees from land for human use. The pictures of trees here. And lastly, pollution, the process of making land, water, air, and other parts of the environment dirty and harmful. So there you have it, section A. So I have a video to share with you that is related to section A.
20 years ago, mentioning a Toyota Prius in the same sentence as a Ferrari would have been considered crazy. But it shows how far ahead of its time the original Japanese hybrid was when it launched back in 1997. But let's kick off with this fun fact. The current Toyota Prius uses a 1.3 kilowatt-hour battery pack, while the Ferrari LaFerrari hypercar uses a 2.3 kilowatt-hour battery pack. Both use a petrol engine plus regenerative braking, or otherwise lost energy, to top up the battery cells that then amp up the electric motor for a performance boost. You don't need to plug them in because the battery packs are about a quarter of the size of most plug-in hybrids and 1/20th of the size of an electric vehicle. Big battery packs are still expensive, which is why they're not in an affordable Prius, and they're heavy, which is why Ferrari keeps them small. BMW says it refuses to put a 500 kmah battery in a future sports car until the battery weight drops, because it hurts handling. But which type of hybrid is best? A series hybrid uses a petrol or diesel engine only to top up the batteries, with the electric motor powering the vehicle. A parallel hybrid uses the engine in tandem with the electric motor to drive the vehicle. The LaFerrari is a parallel type because it mixes the 588 kilowatt V12 petrol engine with a 120 kilowatt electric motor. But the Toyota Prius is a series parallel hybrid. The difference is that the Italian hypercar never switches off its petrol engine. It always contributes to forward progress. The Japanese hatchback can turn off its 72 kilowatt 1.8 litre petrol engine and only use its 53 kilowatt electric motor, albeit only at low speeds using light throttle. The benefit of those small battery packs beyond less weight and cost is simple. What is quickly lost can be quickly gained with regenerative braking. And when the Toyota batteries do run low, such as when maintaining a constant speed on the freeway without much braking, the engine stays on more often to drive both the vehicle and recharge the batteries. Then, under full acceleration, both the petrol and electric combine, like a LaFerrari but with much less power, to provide maximum boost. Under the bonnet of a Prius is the 1.8 petrol engine on the left, and the first motor generator, MG1, sits to the right. That acts as a starter motor and harnesses any surplus power from that petrol engine to then charge the batteries under the back seat. The other main motor, MG2, sits to the far right. It drives the car on startup, in reverse, at low speeds, and then becomes a generator to trap otherwise lost braking energy. Then, sandwiched in between MG1 and MG2, is the continuously variable transmission, or CVT. It runs in tandem with an inverter and power control unit, PCU, to ensure motor voltage is right, while linking the front differential via a chain. The upshot is today's Prius consumes just 3.4 litres per 100 k's, about half that of a turbocharged petrol Volkswagen Golf. Toyota claims its hybrid batteries are designed to charge and discharge for an extended period of time and are covered by an 8-year, 160,000 kilometre warranty. Beyond that, a battery replacement asks between $2,000 and $3,000 according to the brand. Increasingly though, there is a bridge built between normal and plug-in hybrids called the micro hybrid. Where most vehicles use a 12-volt power system with regular battery and alternator, this type uses a tiny lithium-ion battery to help deliver a 48-volt electrical system that can do more to support the petrol or diesel engine. The Audi SQ7 has a minuscule 0.5 kilowatt-hour battery that is recharged via braking, and it runs a 13 kilowatt electric compressor that can automatically spin up the turbocharger of the 4-litre V8 diesel to eliminate turbo lag. In the Audi A8, that format is just enough to switch off its 3-litre turbo V6 when coasting between 55 and 160 km per hour, reducing fuel consumption by 0.7 litres per 100 k's. It is all about refining petrol and diesel engines with a theory that a little bit gained from regenerative braking equals a little bit saved in fuel. It's no Prius or LaFerrari, but more manufacturers are increasingly working on micro or mild hybrid technology.
Okay guys, there you have it. It's a bit long, but you can always go to the description of this video and you can always skip to the next section. So don't worry about it, okay? So moving on. We are on section B now. Read the short passage below, then complete the mind map using details from the passage. So, as you all know, I always love naturalreaders.com. So I have the text here, which is going to be read by Mr. Daniel from UK. Here goes.
Why is it so important for us to recycle? First of all, recycling helps to reduce pollution. When there is less garbage in the environment, there is less pollution. This includes land, water and air pollution. Secondly, recycling helps us to reduce the use of natural resources. When we recycle plastic, for example, the materials in the plastics are reprocessed to make new plastic things. As a result, we do not have to take more resources from the earth. Thirdly, recycling is a great way to earn extra income because you are turning your trash into cash. Sell your recyclables to a recycling center. Apart from selling, you can also donate your recyclables. In addition to that, you get to do charity. Someone else's trash is another person's treasure. You can donate to a non-profit organization, or even to an individual who collects recyclables to sell, such as your neighborhood cleaner.
Okay. For weak students, you can always use Google Translator and you can, have the English text side by side to the Malay text so that you can understand. So we are going to read this together and we are going to try to understand paragraph by paragraph. Here goes. So why is it so important for us to recycle? Kenapa penting to recycle? First of all, recycling helps to reduce pollution. When there is less garbage in the environment, there is less pollution. This includes land, water, and air pollution. So, see, it helps, right? Secondly, recycling helps us to reduce the use of natural resources. Penggunaan sumber semula jadi. So when we recycle plastic, for example, the materials in the plastics are reprocessed to make new plastic things. See, translation here. Anyway, these are all easy English, so you can understand it better. As a result, we do not have to take more resources from the earth. But thirdly, recycling is a great way to earn extra income because you are turning your trash into cash. See? Sell your recyclables to a recycling center. Apart from selling, you can also donate your recyclables. So you can sell it, you can donate it. In addition to that, you get to do charity. Someone else's trash is another person's treasure. You can donate to a non-profit organization or even to an individual who collects recyclables to sell, such as your neighborhood cleaner. See? Alright then. Hope you had heard enough of the text. Let's try to answer it. So this is transferring information. Okay. So this is the mind map. Why recycle? And for number one, these are the example. Okay. Land, water, and air pollution. So look at paragraph 1. These are the example. Materials in the plastic are reprocessed to make new plastic things. Now, why do we recycle? And that be the answer. We recycle. Why? Why do we recycle? Because it helps to reduce pollution. And number 2, it has something to do with natural resources. This is the keyword, okay? Natural resources. You can see the natural resources, the word here, natural resources. So you can simply take the whole sentence. So it helps us to reduce the use of natural resources. Number 3, why do we need to recycle? Okay, sell to recycling centers. Number 3, obviously on paragraph 3. Okay, sell to recycling centers. You can simply lift the whole sentence there. Recycling is a great way to earn extra income because you are turning your trash into cash and sell it to recycling centers. So boys and girls, this is a kind of format that you always see during your examination. Make sure when you answer, you don't overlift. Okay, you just give 1 point. And if it's wrong, then it's okay. But if you overlifting, you give more than 1 point to each answers, then obviously it's either your mark will be reduced, deducted, or you get an error. So for number 4, why recycle? Okay, we have A and B. So number 4, paragraph 4, you get to do charity. Okay, individual who collects recyclables to sell. Right? So it's just transferring information. Okay? You can donate to a non-profit organization here, and individual who collects recyclables to sell is already here. So that's it. That's how you answer section B. I think I have one video to show you with regards of section B. Let's watch this together.
Why is it important to recycle? Recycling is the process of collecting, sorting, and remanufacturing or converting used products into new materials. There are many things that can be recycled, such as paper, cardboard, newspapers, magazines, plastic bottles, glass bottles, aluminum, and other types of metals. Did you know, since 1950, Canadians have consumed as much as all generations before combined? Each week, Canadians take home 55 million plastic bags. In North America, we produce enough garbage to fill 70,000 garbage trucks each year. When we recycle, we can save energy and money. We're keeping garbage out of our landfills, we're reducing pollution caused by waste, and we're helping save our planet and preserve our natural resources. Processing recycled materials costs less and uses less energy than processing raw materials. Creating paper from recyclables uses 64% less energy than making paper from wood. Recyclable materials can be sold to companies that use them. We can also save ourselves money by upcycling, which uses non-recyclable materials and waste to create new products for new use elsewhere. By composting biodegradable materials such as eggshells and peelings, we can create our own fertilizer, which we can use for plants and gardens. This saves us money and reduces waste in our landfills. Landfills are composed of non-biodegradable materials that take a very long time to break down and decompose. Our landfills produce 25% of Canada's methane emissions. Glass can take up to 100 years to break down in the landfill. Plastic takes 400 years, while aluminum takes 500 years. 60% of the trash that we throw out can actually be recycled. Helping preserve our planet's natural resources is one of the most important reasons to recycle and to use recycled materials. Trees are very important to our environment. They also produce clean air and help absorb carbon dioxide. By planting one tree, it can absorb 669 kilograms of carbon dioxide in its lifetime. Did you know that 1 ton of printing paper uses 24 trees? However, 1 ton of recycled paper saves 17 trees. Water is another important resource. Only 1% of the world's water is usable. 97% of the world's water is oceans, and 2% is frozen at the North and South Poles. How can we help? Luckily for us, there is still time to turn things around. We can help by shutting the water when we brush our teeth, think about reusing certain products before throwing them out, carpool, walk, or use public transportation whenever possible. Use less paper and don't print everything. And shut the lights when you're not using them. These are only a few ways that we can begin to reduce, reuse, and recycle. For more information on how you can make a difference, please visit the following websites. When you recycle, you take care of our earth, for our children, and all future generations. Make a difference. Make Earth Day every day.
Okay, credits to the owner of this channel, Melissa M. I'm going to link her video at the description below. Speaking task. Look at the picture below and discuss the questions with your lecturer. This one we can discuss in our WhatsApp group. So it says here, there's a cartoon strip. I have a notion the ocean needs a pollution solution. You can see the fish, they're gasping for air because there's oil pollution in the ocean. Number one, suggest things that you can do to help save the environment. Things that you can do. What can you do to save the environment? You look at around your room. You look at around your housing area. You look at around the college. You look at the river. So what can we do to save the environment? When you go to the kitchen, right? You are using soap. What can you do with that? And when you are taking a shower, when you're brushing your teeth, and let's say your parents, maybe your dad is washing his car. So what can he do? And those kind of things, you know. And if you broaden your perspective, you can look at all the transports on the public road. You can look at all the factories. You can look at all the garbage that people throw. For question number 2, in your opinion, why do people throw things, rubbish, into the river? Imagine we have a program called River of Life in Sungai Bonus near our college. So why do people they have the audacity to throw things, rubbish, into the river? And if you know, many of you are living in Kuala Lumpur and Selangor, we always have water cuts almost every week. Some of you are staying in the hostel, and when there's no water in the hostel, well, we tend to have to cover our nose when we wake up in the morning. Just joking. So I have 2 YouTube videos with regard of this speaking task. And again, look at the description in this video. You can move forward to the next section if you find that the video is a bit long. Okay, so here goes. Let's watch those 2 videos with regard to speaking task to help you to answer these 2 questions, to suggest things that you can do to help save the environment, and also why people throw things such as rubbish into the river.
Hey there! Welcome to Life Noggin. It can be pretty scary to think of all the dangers of climate change. In the past, we've learned together why we should care, but today, let's find out how to be proactive about the situation. One way to help is to drive less when you can. Rather than using your own personal car, try to carpool or use public transportation. If your destination is close enough, maybe even consider walking or riding a bike. Carbon dioxide, or CO2, is a major contributor to climate change, and vehicles are a large portion of the CO2 humanity produces. In fact, it's estimated that for every 2-mile car trip you take, 2 pounds of CO2 are put into the atmosphere. Please thank all those kids riding skateboards, because they're kinda saving the world. Even though they won't get off my lawn. You can also help out by recycling and reusing things when you can. Rather than throwing out all your gadgets and gizmos, see if you can find another use for them or donate them to charity if the product is still good. Recycling helps fight climate change because it takes less energy to make something from recycled products than starting from scratch. Also, consider buying things with less packaging in the first place, or items that use recyclable packaging. This next one might be a little scary to everyone who has ever taken part in the war for the thermostat, but I challenge you to try and let your homes be a little warmer in the summer and a little colder in the winter, even if it's just by a few degrees. Moving your thermostat up 2 degrees in the summer and down 2 degrees in the winter could eliminate an estimated 2,000 pounds of CO2 a year. And believe it or not, your diet can play a huge part in the climate change battle. Consider eating less meat when you can, as the animal agriculture industry emits a large amount of greenhouse gases. The livestock sector, which includes things like feed production and transport, is responsible for around 14% of all the greenhouse gas emissions around the globe. I'm not necessarily saying you need to go vegetarian or vegan, but maybe try things like Meatless Mondays or pick a plant-based option for even just one meal when you could have had meat. Every little bit helps. I know that kale salad looks scary, but you could do it. It should be noted, however, that it might not be as simple as all plants are better for the environment than all meats when taking everything into account, such as the energy required to produce the food. Overall, though, plant-based diets seem to be better for the fight against climate change than meat-based ones. Another thing you can do is inspire others to join the fight against climate change. This can be as simple as talking to your friends and family about the issues, or organizing groups and events in your local community. You can even contact your government officials and urge them to take action and have policies that lead to a healthier, greener future. And think about this: if you lose your world, well, then I kinda lose mine. I partnered up with an inconvenient sequel to bring you this video because the stakes have never been higher when it comes to saving our planet. However, we are close to a real energy revolution, and you can take action and learn more by watching the film. Send a message of truth to power and see an inconvenient sequel in New York and Los Angeles starting July 28th, and nationwide, August 4th. As always, I'm Blocko. This has been Life Noggin. Don't forget to keep on thinking.
Thank you, Life Noggin. This is the next video related section C.
Plastic bags are good at holding groceries, but how are they at powering a house? Most of us don't think so much about trash, especially if we live in an industrialized country where we get curbside pickup. But here are some important statistics. 32% of municipal waste is recycled. Another 13% is incinerated, and that leaves the rest, which is over 50%, or 1,000 pounds per year per American citizen, to sit in a landfill to decompose, or not decompose. You see, most metals and plastics can take thousands of years to break down in a landfill. And because we have future generations on the way and they're going to be generating their own waste, this is something we have to think about. Well, how does the stuff get to the landfill in the first place? There's some places that have gotten a little creative with this, like Helsinki, Finland. They're building out a system of pneumatic tubes. So what you do is you sort your waste and you put it in various bins or chutes, and then it flies through these tubes to screw tanks. There are other places like Roosevelt Island, New York, that are doing the same thing, but the one in Finland has some special features. For example, those tanks have sensors on them, so they can alert you to when those tanks are full and a crew can come out and empty it out. They also can track where the trash comes from. That's important. It means that they know who is generating the most garbage, like a manufacturing plant, and those people get charged more for collection services. But that still leaves us with the problem of what to do with all these landfills.
3, 2, 1, and liftoff.
No, we're not going to shoot it out into space. That doesn't make economic sense. The environmental impact would be terrible. I mean, you might as well pay people $1 million to pour a gallon of oil in the nearest river. But an idea that is getting some traction is plasma gasification. In this process, extremely high voltage electrical current is passed between two electrodes, generating a temperature near 25,000 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hotter than the surface of the sun. Because this process takes place in a no-oxygen environment, there's no actual burning going on here. Instead, that energy is breaking down the molecular bonds of the trash itself, freeing the component atoms. They become either a synthetic gas or molten slag. And here's the really awesome part. That synthetic gas can actually be turned into fuel that will run the plasma waste converter itself. And if you generate enough synthetic gas, you can actually generate enough electricity to feed back into the power grid. And what about the landfill that's not in a landfill? There are islands of plastic floating in the ocean, like one in the Pacific that's about the size of Texas. What do we do about those? Bacteria are really good at getting rid of stuff. Could we use that? A student in Canada back in 2008 tried to do just that and isolated the bacteria and found that it could break down plastic in about 3 to 4 months. But whether you could make that a large-scale operation is another question. Maybe the solution is in new design. Biopolymers, plastic not made of corn, but from bacteria, with a half-life of 18 months. We're talking plastics that actually biodegrade in the sea. Now, the nano-optimists out there say that nanotechnology will save us. We'll create these little nanobots that'll break the garbage down into its component atoms. Now, as for me, personally, I think the best kind of trash is no trash at all. We've got a question for you. How would you solve the trash problem? Leave a comment and tell us your answer. And make sure that you like this video and subscribe to our channel because we've got some more amazing videos about the future coming really soon.
Wow. Let's see the comment section. There are 422 comments. So, Chance nicely said, everyone needs to stop packaging everything. You see, sometimes nowadays, if you buy biscuits, you have large packaging, and inside the large packaging, you have small packaging for each biscuit. So that is a waste of plastic. And Vishtek said trash powered car. So if you You might have watched too much of Back to the Future. A worldwide culture of overconsumption is the problem. Yes. So recycle a lot more. All the metal and plastic that still end up in landfill still could be recycled. This is a nice movie, Wall-E. Okay, you can go and look for this YouTube video. It's in the description below, and read all those 430 comments, and you can even add in your own comments. So that's section C. Quite long, isn't it? Reading exercise, traffic materials, and short text. This is section D. Okay, so you are given this one, some sort of a calendar. Help us save the environment. Use our biodegradable bags for your shopping. Read the question, please. The notice is for those who are shopping enthusiasts, which means that this notice is for a person who loves shopping. I love shopping very much too. Bag collectors. So, is this one meant for the bag collectors? Eco warriors. Oh, eco warriors. People who fight for the environment. Seems like it. And also students. So, what is the best answer? Question number 1. Have you got it? We can discuss this later, okay? Question number 2. No littering. Littering means you take something, you use something, and you throw it to other places except for the recycle bin. So read the question. The message on the sign means that you A. Can litter anywhere except in the area around the pond. Not likely, right? Litter anywhere except in the area of around the pond. B. Are not allowed to throw rubbish in this area. Maybe. C. Are not allowed to be in this area. And lastly, are discouraged from being in this area. So what's the best answer, people? You got it, okay? Question number 3. The daily news, water cut due to high ammonia content. This is what I said regarding people who live in Selangor and Kuala Lumpur area. Water cut is a common nowadays. So based on the newspaper headline above, its accompanying article is probably about water supply in a town, recycling and its advantages, the effects of water pollution, or ammonia and its harmful effects. So you choose the correct answer. What do we have here? Amount of rubbish collected in landfill X. See? It spans from January until July, and you can see the amount of rubbish collected. So from the graph, which month had the highest collection of rubbish in the landfill? Highest collection of rubbish in the landfill. So you see, sometimes when you learn English, you also learn math. So the highest bar graph. Question number 5. 1 ton of recycled newsprint saves about 13 to 17 trees. The energy conserved from recycling 1 aluminum can is able to run your television for 3 hours. Recycling 1 glass bottle rather than manufacturing new one conserves enough energy to light a 100-watt bulb for 4 hours. So based on the text, which of the following statement is not true? So recycling paper reduces the need for cutting down trees. So the more you recycle the papers, reduces, and no need to cut down more trees. Is it not true? B. Recycling aluminum cans is good for your television. Right? Recycling aluminum cans is good for your television. C. Manufacturing glass uses a lot of energy. Manufacturing glass uses a lot of energy. And D. Recycling saves energy. It's a bit of trick here. Try to answer. If you have any questions, Head on to the WhatsApp group. The poster, stop polluting water. See, there are rubbish in the water. The poster encourages recycling, encourage development, discourage river pollution, discourage caring for the environment. You know you can translate this, right? If you have any problems, ask your friends sitting next to you, ask your parents. And if you still cannot find the answer, you can ask me. Question number 7. A green camp will be organized by the Environmental Club Batang Padang District on 20th to 23rd May to help raise awareness among students about environmental pollution. Participants may look forward to a fun-filled weekend at Tumang Resort Slim Village. Some of the activities include a treasure hunt, a walk along the nature trails, and games. So in the notice above, the main purpose of organizing the green camp, the main purpose, tujuan utama, main purpose of organizing the green camp is to encourage students to appreciate nature, raise funds for poor students, help students in their studies, promote Tumang Resort. Read it carefully, choose the best answer. Question number 8. Large-scale fishing depleting the oceans of fish. The headline above informs us that commercial fishing has sharply reduced the number of fish in the ocean. Depleting means deplete, getting down, lower. So, commercial fishing has sharply reduced the number of fish in the ocean. Overfishing has caused an imbalance in the ecosystem of the ocean. The demand for bigger fish has sharply reduced the fish population. And lastly, fishermen only catch big fish due to their high commercial value. Look at the headline. What does it inform us? Question number 9. Friends of Nature Club Selangor. Event, 6th Annual Seminar. Okay, the date here is 24th to 26th August. Venue is at Legend Hotel Kuala Lumpur. The theme is Biological Diversity in Malaysia. The fee is RM200 for members and RM250 for non-members, limited to 300 participants. And you can, for booking, you can call this number and fax them. Send email to friends@tmnet.com.my. Okay, the notice above informs us that booking can only be done through email. We have a number here, right? The seminar is organized by Legend Hotel. Is it the organizer or is it a venue? Only registered members can attend the seminar. Registered members, they have price for non-members too. Non-members have to pay more to attend the seminar. What's the best answer there? Question number 10. Increasing industrialization has caused a shift in pollution sources from agro-based chemicals to industrial-based pollutants. This brings with it a new set of environmental problems such as toxic and hazardous waste, which may find its way into our water supply and can also be passed on to humans through the consumption of fish and crustaceans harvested from polluted water. So based on the text, all the following statements are true except. Look at the statement. Okay? Increasing of industrialization. Okay? Maybe you see the more factories that we have lesser agro-based land use. So with it, it brings another type of pollution. See, toxic and hazardous waste. Okay? It will seep into the water. So based on the text, all the following statements are true except. Increasing industrialization is the cause of pollution. Toxic and hazardous waste pollutes our water. Humans are not affected by industrial-based pollutants. Fish and crustaceans are also affected by hazardous waste. It's an easy one. Good luck answering question number 10. Moving on to Cloze-passage. We have 2. Let's read it in one go. Have you ever wondered what happens to rubbish once the rubbish trucks take them away? In the United States, 27%, number 1, and the remaining is discarded. This discarded rubbish, number 2, are mostly of paper products, plastic, garden waste, and wood. The discarded rubbish, so number 3, into waste. It is either burned or buried in landfills. A landfill, so number 4, a specially designed structure. The purpose of a landfill is to bury rubbish in such a way that it, so number 5, dry and away from groundwater. After rubbish, so number 6, in a landfill, a layer of soil is added as cover. This, so number 7, scavengers such as rats and crows away from the landfill. Let's try to look for the best answer, shall we? So have you ever wondered what happens to rubbish once the rubbish trucks take them away? In the United States, 27% something, and the remaining is discarded. See, is discarded, this one. Can you choose recycle? Recycled, was recycled, or is recycled? Look at this sentence, okay? So the best answer for question number 1 is C. In the United States, 27% is recycled and the remaining is discarded. This discarded rubbish, question number 2, can you choose was made or is made? So the best answer here is B. This discarded rubbish is made up mostly of paper products, plastic, garden waste, and wood. Question number 3, the discarded rubbish, of course, okay, taking the cue from question number 1, question number 2 is handled, right? Okay, this discarded rubbish is handled in 2 ways. It is either burned or buried in landfills. A landfill is, are, has been, had been. A landfill is a specially designed structure. The purpose of a landfill is to bury rubbish in such a way that it is kept. Right? It is kept dry and away from groundwater. Question number 6. After rubbish, right? After rubbish has been dumped in a landfill, a layer of soil is added as a cover. This 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D. Keep, keeps, has kept, is kept. So this one, obviously very simple. This keeps scavengers such as rats and crows away from the landfill. So moving on to section E, Cloze-passage number 2. Read the passage below and choose the best answer. The first time man ever looked back from space at Earth, the lasting impression was that of a blue planet, one largely made up of water. This is because 75% of the Earth's surface is covered with water. It's not covered by water, it's not covered underwater, it's not covered through water. Earth's surface is covered with water. We have heard of Earth's depleting resources, but it is really difficult to what? This is called infinite 2, right? After infinite 2, it should be followed by base form. You cannot have 2 running, you cannot have 2, 8, right? It must be in a base form. So the base form of this second answer is this one, A. Okay, imagine, imagines, imagined, imagining. So take the base form. We have heard of Earth's depleting resources, but it's really difficult to imagine the world running out of clean water. For example, Malaysia. Experiences, experiencing. So Malaysia experiences. And for example, Malaysia experiences heavy rainfall during the monsoon season. Jadi, okay. For example, Malaysia experiences heavy rainfall during monsoon season. So the idea that we may run out of water seems laughable, almost ridiculous. However, it could happen. Globally, many countries face serious water solutions, problem, headaches, rationing. Right? Globally, many countries face serious water problem, right? Water problem, both in terms of quantity or quality. The water quality of our rivers the water quality of our rivers is the water quality of our rivers was or were. Talking about the water quality, so it's one, okay? So the water quality of our rivers is getting worse by the day as a result of combination of 7 waste factors, rubbish, problems. Which one is the best? The water quality of our rivers is getting worse by the day as a result of combination of problems such as industrial effluents, urbanization, and agricultural runoffs. How healthy is our water? Once we pollute our rivers, we have to face the consequences on the quality of our life. So that's it, you guys. We have covered lesson 6. So I hope you had downloaded this. You had jot down your answers on that piece of paper. You had already, tried to answer on your own. And I know you are eager to discuss this. We can discuss this over our WhatsApp group. No worries, even though it's a school holiday. My class is open 24/7. So with that, I bid you farewell. Goodbye.